Good morning. Well, the most important item on the agenda this morning is, of course, Syria and the continuing violence by the regime in Syria. Yesterday's referendum vote has fooled nobody. To open polling stations, but to continue to open fire on the civilians of the country has no credibility in the eyes of the world. So we will be discussing that today, and we are confident that we will agree new sanctions, a further round of sanctions on the Assad regime. Of course, we've already done a lot in the European Union, in particular to stop the oil exports to Europe, which is a quarter of the revenues of the regime. But I hope we will agree further sanctions today, which will further restrict the access to finance, in particular, of that regime, as we continue to do what we can to support the Arab League plan and a peaceful transition in Syria, rather than the appalling violence that we continue to see.
Can I just ask, after the evident deep divisions on Friday and the strong criticism of a Chinese newspaper calling the US position super arrogant today, do you feel there is actually any way forward from today's meeting if the other parties aren't all on board?
Well, we do continue to have a problem at the United Nations Security Council that our resolution was vetoed by China and Russia. But I think it was impressive that in Tunis on Friday, more than 60 nations came together, pledging themselves to take action of the kind that we're taking in the European Union today to increase the diplomatic and economic pressure on the Assad regime. But do we still have a difference of view with China and in particular with Russia? Yes, we do. And that remains a major blockage in what the international community can do. I hope that China and Russia will see that it has been a mistake to take this position, that it is damaging their own interests in the Middle East, that it is wrong in the eyes of the world, and we are ready to return to the United Nations Security Council over the coming weeks.
Okay.
Yes?
The Arab League suggested the peacekeeping force as only solution. Even Saudi Arabia said arming the opposition is an excellent idea.
It is true that the Arab League have put forward some ideas about a peacekeeping force. Of course, for that to work properly, there would have to be a peace to keep. At the moment, we don't have that. We need the cessation of violence by the regime against civilians in order for anything like that to work. And on the question of what other countries have said, we have an EU arms embargo on the whole of Syria. Obviously, we're not going to break that. But we are intensifying our contact in the part of the United Kingdom. We are intensifying our contacts with the opposition. I met the Syrian National Council on Friday. I have offered them additional assistance, peaceful assistance, with their work, as we will to other opposition groups relating to Syria. So we will continue to step up our contact with them and consider them a legitimate representative of the Syrian people. Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Please, Minister. First country to propose an army solution when it was Libya, and now for Syria, it looks like you are very much hesitated. While the political doesn't work, can you tell us which other solution?
Well, we're doing a great deal. We, of course, put forward the resolution that was vetoed at the United Nations Security Council. I'm confident we will agree today additional sanctions in the European Union, particularly to deny finance to the Assad regime. We have already cut off all the oil exports. We are intensifying our contact with the opposition, particularly the Syrian National Council, who I met on Friday. We're providing humanitarian assistance. So we are doing a great deal to try to address the situation in Syria. But of course, in the absence of a UN resolution, it is very different from Libya. There are other reasons too, but the most fundamental is that the UN Security Council has not agreed a resolution, which is, of course, very different from the case with Libya. Thank you very much.